Surprisingly, we got a new image today, the 4th image in a row. And in my opinion, this is like now pretty much the confirmation that we are talking about elite specs 100%. As always, let's overanalyze this image. Thanks a lot to all my supporters that helped me keep the lights on. Now, without much further ado, let's jump straight in, shall we? So this is the 4th image that you can see in the background. And what can I say? It is, again, the same background, but that's the important part. In my opinion, this now shows a really clear image of what the icon could be. 3 cards, if it's an elite spec, I think there are 2 very likely possibilities. It could be some kind of like card thrower, gambling person, like something like that. I think that's quite likely that this will be some kind of aggressive spec. Could fit multiple classes, to be honest. But there is also another option. And the other option would be that it's some kind of astrologian. So something like if you played Final Fantasy XIV, something like there. Some kind of healer that uses cards to adjust to the situation. That could be the case as well. Both of those options, in my opinion, are quite possible with this symbol. I think that is a very cool fantasy that we don't have in Guild Wars 2 at all. And I think that's really nice. Which class would it suit? That's a really interesting question. Both of them, I think, have a very similar vibe. I think it's definitely not a heavy armor class. I think that's pretty much a given. I also don't think that it will be some kind of necromancer elite spec, and I think elementalist is also not very fitting. Maybe, I don't think so. I think the most likely ones here, in my opinion, are 3 elite specs. It's either Mesmer, it is Thief, and it is Ranger. Those 3 could have it, whereas I think Ranger is quite unlikely. I think it's either Thief or Mesmer. I think those 2 are the most fitting ones. And if I would have only this image and I would have to give you one like prediction, which class would be behind that, I would actually have said Mesmer. I think Mesmer is very fitting for that, for some kind of card tricks, mind manipulation, something like that. It's very mesmery. So I think that's quite likely, but we already got the loot symbol. And I think the loot symbol was already something where I'd say, this is for Mesmer. So what do I think now? I can already tell you, when we got the 9th icon, I will do some video about it. We're speculating which class could get which one and how they will be called. And then on the Tuesday, the 15th, I will probably make some kind of big like video where I see and compare what I actually predicted and what we actually get. That will be quite fun. So be sure to subscribe for that one if you don't want to miss out. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like. That helps my channel here quite a bit as well. Thanks. But now let's back to the topic. I would say 2 options that we see here. The first option is, this is the Mesmer elite spec, and the loot that we got before is actually not a Mesmer. That is then, in my opinion, really highly pointing towards a Bard elite spec for Ranger, for example. If the Astrologian, or however this one here is called, goes to Mesmer. I think both of them suit to Mesmer, but I think the card option that we got here only suits to one other elite spec, which is the Thief. So the second option would be the loot is still for Mesmer, some kind of minstrel bard, and this one here goes to Thief. But then I think Astrologian doesn't really fit Thief that much anymore, because Thief is more like some kind of assassin spec, and I think the cards only suit then the gambler, you know, that you throw cards to deal damage, stuff like that. Then it's very fitting to Thief, but the Astrologian fits way more to Mesmer. So I think there are 2 very big options, big camps, so to say, and both of them have absolutely value in my opinion. Maybe let me know your takes in the comments. Maybe you have some crazy ideas as well that I didn't come up with, and maybe they are way more likely. I don't know. Just let me know. I'm really interested in those. But I personally am really hyped about this one. I have to be honest, this is probably the one that I'm the most hyped yet when it comes to the 4 that we got. Because this one is like something that we don't have the class fantasy in Guild Wars 2 at all. And I think that could be leading to some really cool, interesting gameplay mechanics that we didn't have before. That I think Ainit can implement really crazy things with some luck, but also some really cool skill, maybe some timing things that could also be really interesting. I personally think there are so many cool options that you could put in utility skills if you wanted to, in cool trade changes that you put a different card in there and then you get some alterations. Sometimes it's more aggressive, sometimes it's more healing focused. I think there could be so many options for Astrologian spec, but there could also be so many options for some kind of thief, gambler, card throwing person. I think that could also work very well. It is highly dependent on how they implement it. I think for Thief, they would have to do way more reworks in terms of how that works with all the class mechanics and the steals. how that works with the cards, but I think that would be really interesting. For Mesmer, in my opinion, that would not make too much of a difference. It would probably feel like classic Mesmer, just with a different touch that you can, for example, maybe alter your cards that you play by pressing the shatters that are not shatters anymore, something like that. I could imagine that. And there are so many options. So I really feel like this is the most like elite spec where you can speculate the most. Does it mean that we will get anything like that? Or maybe it's like completely something insane. Maybe some people see actually something different here. But I think this is like very cool, and a lot of cool ideas can come up with this one. So like I said, please let me know your take in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed this quick analysis. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. There will be more videos coming like that. Don't worry. We have only 10 more days until the reveal, so I'm really hyped for that one. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks again to all my supporters, and I hope to see you in the next one.